Yes, we've got a request for you.
Okay.
So our nigga here, the sound guy Simpio, he almost died 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So he hasn't released since.
Oh.
Yeah. So how much would it cost for you to give him a blowjob now?
Oh, imali azongikhokhela make menze blow job now.
Yeah.
Manginika 1.5 ngamnika manje.
See on!
See on. There we go.
Are the girls we know here?
Read it in.
Yo, let's go, my brother.
Tati Mike's pure. Go get some head, man.
Tati Mike. Masambe.
My brother.
60 seconds is too much, ne? It's too long. 60
This is
seconds.
wild. It's actually happening. Fuck it.
Let's go. Asambe.
To get a blowjob.
Uyamshuta lapho.
Yeah, I'm shooting next. For the sound pair, I think.
Entwana vuleli speaker lapho. Yehlisa ama mic wethu for no feedback, ne? Yehlisa ama mic.
Okay, it looks so nice. I love it. Uh-huh.
We're rocking with or without you. How do you?
With or
without you, make you
We're back with another video. We about to watch DJ Smooth's response to MacG and Soul blowjob episode on Podcast and Chill. Let's start this one.
Hands off MacG. The podcast is rated 18 and above. If you do know that your daughter or your son might be watching MacG's podcast, you do know that it comes with an age restriction. You don't complain when you watch Bridgerton, when you watch NSFW, Sex and Pleasure, when you watch Adulting. The other time, Usis Kanyimbao's sex scene on The Wife was trending, and you were very excited. And you're always watching all these American shows that have got like sex in it, but you never complain. Lady Chatterley's Lover, I think. Sense8. There's a lot of sex documentaries on Netflix, on Showmax. And you've been watching sex scenes. Some of y'all actually even watch porn. But you don't complain. You don't complain to the internet.
Hotman has just plugged us with 6 sex movies. I hope you're taking notes, Jess.
That they show you a lot of nudes, a lot of nudity. They even warn you, right? The same as MacG is warning you. I understand that a lot of people can be mad. A lot of people are concerned about their children. I'm also a parent. I'm also always concerned about what my kid watches on television. But you do know, I'm a chiller as well. You do know what Podcast and Chill comes with, guys. And people have been doing this. About Howard Stern. I remember back in the days at YFM, DJ Fresh used to have strippers in their radio studios. And we used to love it. We were young. We were actually even like in our early 20s. Some people were even teenagers. White Lines on Netflix. Abo N, the film. There's a lot of movies on Netflix that come with a lot of age restrictions, a lot of nudity, cursing, a lot of violence, etc. You can't be allowing your children to be watching Podcast and Chill when you do know it comes with an age restriction. For me, it's either you come from the mainstream media or you are hating on MacG's Podcast and Chill. Shout out to MacG, Podcast and Chill, and Saul for taking it that far. I believe if it wasn't allowed, YouTube would have banned them. They would have suspended them. They would have taken their channel down because YouTube comes with the community guidelines. That if you do bridge the community guidelines, you are risking, it's a risk of your channel getting taken down, your channel getting suspended, etc. So I don't think we should be that harsh on MacG and Saul taking it that far.
And just to add, the community guidelines, I think they start being implemented as soon as more people start complaining about a specific show. Because there are channels where they also do such content, and it'll pull maybe the first few weeks. It'll display on public, But after a certain weeks, when you start searching for that certain episode, it's because of there was traffic when it comes to complaining about that specific shows. And then YouTube then now pays attention, then they see Uguti no man, there's this certain content in this specific episode that we cannot approve of. And then that's when they will take it's either they take that episode down, or they block the entire channel for certain days. They block them from uploading episodes. And that's a risk, especially when you have the numbers that Make G has. With YouTube, if people start talking bad and they start saying, Guti, you are basically not following, or you are not within the guidelines, and then people complain about that, YouTube can just take it like that. It can just take it like that. So I think Uguti, I hope it was an educated or a calculated risk when it comes to uploading that specific channel. I hope that it was.
It just so happens that yes, we know them. Yes, we know their parents. Yes, we know we've got kids, but we never complain about all these other television sexual shows. We've just never had such a podcast in the country, in the continent. They're pushing boundaries. They're pushing the envelope, and that is their lane. That is not your lane. That is not my lane. It's their lane. Because if they don't do it, somebody else will do it, and you won't complain. You're gonna be cheering. You'll be excited. You'll be sharing all the trending videos of their sex scenes, just like you always do with all these other American shows, all these other shows that are on Netflix, all these other movies that you're always watching, all this other content that you're always consuming from the internet, all this porn that you always watch all the time. Hands off McG. They're breaking boundaries. It's never been done before in the podcast era. McG is taking the game to another level. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but I'm just saying in terms of breaking boundaries, in terms of being game-changing, in terms of pushing the envelope, you and I, as parents, we might not agree.
Yeah, that just, I don't know whether I should say it threw me off, but it kind of made me feel lost. I think the purpose for him to record this was for him to express his views. And the opinion yomuntu, it's always right. And if that person with an opinion says that he's not saying it's right or wrong, then you end up asking yourself, okay, what was the point of the video? Yeah, but as knowing Ikhotmadi from all the clips that I've been consuming from him, I think he's basically trying to bring people back and showing Abantindle Luguti, yeah, people are complaining about this, but in that there's beauty in it. You understand? Because that young lady, probably she's now the most booked porn star that we have in SA because of the platform. That lady can now put bread on the table for his or her kids. That lady can now support her family. So I think Ikhotman is just bringing us back to us sitting down and basically saying, Guti, there's actually nothing wrong that Umekji did. There were no visuals. It was only audio. And what you hear cannot even be taken in the court of law because they don't want to know what you heard. They want to know what you've seen. That's more important because of what you see. It's always there. But what you heard, Sasumekji can say, no, man, we were just having fun. They never sucked Simpiwe's dick. They never did 1, 2, 3, 4. They were just sitting in 2 different chairs and it was just audio that was playing. You understand? And that time song is Amapapuita Pezulu and Otoluguti, this thing was not even real. So I think that's what maybe Hotman is trying to address, because when you press that record button and then you react to a certain thing, it's not that you are saying it's not good for you to say it's not right, it's not wrong, because you are recording to pass on a certain point. So either that point is right to you, it might be wrong to someone else, but Oksana, your point was shared. your views were shared. And then we would also pick up some 2 cents nyana that we do pick up when we share your views. But when you say it's not right, it's not wrong, it throws me off a little. But maybe during this video, I can understand what you were basically trying to say when you said that.
Agree with it, but you gotta give it to them for taking it that far. It's never been done before. And it's not like he posted a blowjob scene on the podcast. It was just audio, and it was just a guest.
Exactly my point. It was just audio. It was just audio.
Who is a sex worker. Don't we recognize our brothers and sisters' jobs when they say they are sex workers? Isn't sex working legal in the country? You know, it doesn't matter whether you judge him, whether he's right or wrong. Yes, you know, you are entitled to all of those opinions. Just like if I put an African spiritual content online and people are going to come in and accuse me of, yeah, your guest said this and that about reptilians, about aliens, about draconians, about white supremacy, about this and that or whatever. You might not agree with it, but it's content that I feel that it's good for my audience. That is my lane. That is McG's lane. And he is pushing the envelope in his lane. If it was wrong and if it was illegal, YouTube would have taken it down a long time ago. Stop being a chiller if you worry about...
And just to add, if it was wrong or it was illegal, then it's only fair that you unsubscribe on the channel. Because of when you subscribe, you know what... Abantu ababhaya who are on the McG's channel, who watch their episodes, who subscribe to that channel, those are the ones who are not shocked with this. We actually are happy because it's what we subscribed for. It's what we subscribed for. And then we cannot now turn our back and say, hey, this guy is wrong. Hey, this. No, guys, no. The chillers are happy. It's those minor or whatever people that are there on the side who have a problem with this, especially those who want to bring the channel down. It's only those few people. But trust me, you can take a video and then then go outside and ask people what do they think of that episode. You will get nothing but love from the streets. And those are the people that support the channel.
You know what your kids are going to watch on there. There is an age restriction on McG's podcast. And as much as it might not be your cup of tea, my cup of tea, or the next person's cup of tea, it's got an audience. We are subscribed there and we pay every month. You might not agree with it, you might not like it, but if it's a Netflix show, you're always, you know, we are always excited about these Netflix shows. They're always trending and we are always speaking nice about it. Maybe because they are done a certain way. Maybe is it because it's Americans. Maybe is it because it's on Netflix. Maybe is it because it's people we don't know. I believe hands off McG, man. In terms of content creation in this country, in terms of taking it to the next level in podcasting, in terms of setting the pace, you and I might not agree with it, but you gotta give it to them, man. They're doing their thing, and they're making us talk, and they're making people who love that type of content go crazy, get excited. They're offering what they have to offer to their audience. And McG's podcast has never been one to...
And just to add on what Khotman is saying, through that content, they're also putting bread on the table for other people. This video, Yagasbu, it's over 6K views. 6K views. And he'll probably get paid for just reacting to that video or for just sharing his opinion. You understand? And probably I'll also make some few money from just reacting to DJ Smooth's video. And what we have in common, Nuguti, it's that McG blowjob episode. That's it. So McG is also feeding DJ Smooth. He's also feeding me. That's job that's job creation, man. Digital job creation. Dude, hands off for McG. Tell them, man, nigga. Tell them, my good man.
Be like the Hustler's Corner, like the Sobering Podcast, like the other podcast or the other podcast or the Penuel Show. No, It is McG's podcast and chill. You know anything can happen on that podcast. You know it's about to go down. As soon as it's 3 o'clock and you start tuning in, you know anything can happen. You know it's about to go down. So for me, those are my opinions, and that is my response. And I'm entitled to these opinions. You're also entitled to your opinions. But I kind of feel hands off McG. I think it's either you're hating, I think it's either you're jealous, I think you either can't produce creative content yourself. It doesn't have to be that type of content. It can be in your own way, in your own lane, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's their lane. But you gotta give it to them, man. So I just want to shout out McG and Saul for breaking boundaries in broadcasting, for taking it that far. Remember, guys, we are an alternative media. We are the alternative voices. We are on the internet. We're not going to let people who are watching television all the time tell us what to do on the internet. Otherwise, they must just go watch TV. They must leave us alone on the internet. We're doing our own thing on the internet, our own way. Whether you agree with it or you don't, that is your cup of tea. Rather, don't watch. It's the internet. Times have changed. And it's our responsibility as parents to guide our children, to be there for our children, to monitor our children, even if it means we have to install spy apps on our kids' phones to make sure that we are monitoring what they are watching, what content they are consuming, who they are checking.
And also, Gmail has this parental lock option where you can lock certain apps that your child cannot have access to, or you can make a phone to be family friendly for your kids. So any content that is over a certain age, each Gmail will just kick it out. For an example, if maybe your kid's Gmail is set to parental control, your kid on YouTube can only watch what you set for him to watch. If there's a podcast and chill that is blowing up there, then your child searches for a podcast and chill on their phone. It will actually block them out. They won't have access to it. So that's another way of you taking control of what your kids consume. And then for umntwana makalele, you can just take their phone, go through their history. Don't open apps that they've opened and see what they're doing. You can just go to their history search key, and then it will tell you which websites or which sites or which links your child has clicked on. If you see ukuthi there's a certain link that you do not understand, you can view it and then check ukuthi kwenzakalani. If it's something that you feel that your child shouldn't be watching, you have an option to block that link from your child's phone. And then in the morning, you can talk to your child, tell your child to go to you are not supposed to watch 1, 2, 3. It's as easy as that.
With. It's our responsibility as parents. It's not McG's responsibility. McG's never said he's a role model. McG's never said he's anybody's role model. He is breaking boundaries, and his podcast is making all of us talk. We never talk. We go crazy and excited if it's done by Americans, if it's done by movies, Hollywood, if it's done by what is this, like Netflix and Showmax. Leave McG alone. Hands off McG. Congratulations to McG for setting the boundaries. Whether I agree with it or I don't, I do know that they're kicking ass, they're making us talk, and they're delivering for their audience. It's high time that you start your own podcast, you start creating your own content, you start moving in your own lane, make us talk, make us agree, disagree with you, make us fight with you, make us drag you, but just do what he's done. If you can't do it, then just rather shut up. Leave McG alone. Hands off McG. Danke san. Danko.
Yeah, thank you, DJ School, for putting it out, man. And one thing that we should also remember, McG is also a parent. McG has 2 kids also. So I think now he's taking all the safety measurements that he needs to take so that abantwana bakhe, they do not get access to certain content. So I think it's more harder to make G than us who are just watching, because umntwana at the end of the day uzofuna ukwazi ukuthi ithema lami kahle kahle lenzani, and then umntwana will get an opportunity to go through each and every episode. And makabona izinto ezisona, clearly umntwana akhe angeke azajabule na ukuthi ithema lami, why, you understand? So I believe that it's hard for McG as much as it is for us as a parent, because yena melenze sure ukuthi umntwana wakhe these such a things he does not hear them from school. Ukuthi, hey, your dad did 1, 2, 3, 4. You get home, you ask your dad, hey, my friends are saying, Kanti, what's happening? Let me see the episode. You understand? But he's doing all that he can. I know I will do that. I will do all that I can to make sure ukuthi my child or my kids are protected by all means. If it means that they shouldn't not having phones up until they are 16 years old, then so be it. If it means ukuthi my child should not even have time to go through the internet, so be it. Because of I know how dangerous internet can be. If it means ukuthi I have to Gmail lock that phone of his, then so be it. But there's platforms that you can use, there's apps that you can use to make sure with your kids do not have access to certain podcasts or certain sites that you do not subscribe to. So I also want to say dango to Hot Money for showing support to McG and Son. And also shout out to the guys, man, for pushing it. They are pushing it. We just behind with it, but they are pushing it. They are pushing it. And the advice I would give to them is to make sure that they open a second channel as a backup. Because with content like this, YouTube can just take the channel down just like that. So if they do not have an alternative channel to push their content, it will be sad to have them start from zero. It will be very sad. But thank you for watching, man. And if you've watched this entire video, the least you can do is click on that sub button. We out.
We're rocking with or without you.
Post.
How do you?
With or without you,
With or without you, make you. We move.